안녕하세요. 수쌤입니다. 3월 30일 월요일부터 4일에 걸친 뉴스 천천히 읽어보겠습니다. Number one, Seoul has ranked 8th out of 137 cities in the latest Global Financial Centers Index, which evaluates cities across five key areas, including human capital, business environment, and reputation. Number two, a survey shows that around about 13% of Koreans do not exercise at all, up from 8% the previous year, while most respondents say they manage their health by maintaining personal hygiene and a clean environment. Number three, the United Nations has announced the creation of a task force dedicated to developing technical and diplomatic mechanisms for maintaining the flow of humanitarian goods and fertilizers through the Strait of Hormuz amid ongoing disruptions. Number four, Indonesia has introduced a social media ban for children under the age of 16, the first of its kind in Southeast Asia, following Australia's lead in protecting young people from potential online harms. Number five, major U.S. airlines are reported to have steadily reduced the number of economy class seats and expanded premium seating in a strategy aimed at boosting profitability by increasing the proportion of higher priced seats. Tuesday 가볼까요? Number one. A survey by the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism finds that roughly 7 in 10 people worldwide enjoy Korean content, with K-pop emerging as the top association with Korea. Number two, the city of Seoul has launched the first early morning bus route in the country to operate with full autonomy across its entire journey, including typically restricted areas like school zones. Number three, the Egyptian government has implemented a nationwide 9 p.m. closing time for shops, malls, restaurants, and cafes to combat a severe energy crisis triggered by the ongoing regional conflict involving Iran. Number four, groundbreaking research reveals that the enduring bond between dogs and humans dates back more than 15,000 years, with evidence that hunter-gatherers fed the animals and gave them ritual burials long before the emergence of agriculture. Number five, more than 12 tons of chocolate bars were stolen in Italy while in transit to distributors in what's being called a major candy heist just ahead of the Easter holiday that could lead to consumer shortages. Okay, Wednesday, 수요일 볼까요? Number one. Both domestic and overseas travel recovered to pre-pandemic levels in 2025, with 70% of those aged 13 and older taking at least one domestic trip last year, and the proportion of outbound travelers hitting an all-time high. Number two, the International Monetary Fund has warned that all roads lead to higher prices and slower growth for countries on all continents should the conflict in the Middle East continue to constrain the flow of oil, gas, and fertilizer from the Gulf. Number 3. NASA has kicked off its countdown for what is slated to be its first crewed moon mission in more than half a century, with the initial launch window from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida opening on Wednesday at 6:24 p.m. local time. Number 4. Canadian singer Celine Dion has announced her return to the stage with 10 concerts in Paris this fall, marking her first major performances since putting her career on hold in 2022 after being diagnosed with stiff person syndrome, a rare and incurable condition that affected her singing voice and ability to walk. Number 5. An American boat captain has hauled in a giant swordfish weighing roughly 217 kilograms and measuring over 2 meters long after a grueling 5-hour battle. 자, 목요일 볼까요? Number 1. Korean exports surpassed $80 billion in March for the first time on record, setting a new monthly high as strong semiconductor shipments drove overall growth despite rising oil prices and logistics disruptions from the prolonged Middle East conflict. Number 2. The National Museum of Korea became the world's third most visited museum in 2025, according to the international publication The Art newspaper, drawing a record 6.5 million visitors and surpassing renowned institutions like the British Museum and New York's Metropolitan Museum of Art. Number 3. Fewer surcharges for flights operated by Korean carriers have more than tripled for April, driven by a surge in global oil prices and ongoing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. Number 4. 2 Australian states have introduced free public transport through June to discourage driving amid high fuel prices driven by the Middle East conflict, while the federal government has halved the national fuel excise 네, excise인가요? Excise tax for 3 months to provide financial relief to motorists. Number 5, paintings by Renoir, Cézanne, and Matisse, worth millions of euros, have been stolen from a museum near the Italy city of Parma, marking the latest high-profile heist following the brazen daylight robbery of priceless jewels from the Louvre last October. 네, 여기까지입니다. 여러 가지 기사가 있었는데 아무래도 기름 때문에 그런 경제 기사가 많았던 것 같아요. 정치 기사가. 네. 최수진 선생님의 모닝 스페셜 여러 가지 프로그램 많이 있으니까 아껴주시고요. 여러분의 영어 공부에 도움이 되셨길 바랍니다. 감사합니다.